Are you ready for a war?
Mel Gibson is a brilliant Hollywood actor, screenwriter, director, and producer. The blue-eyed genius heartbreaker won 2 Oscars and the Golden Globe Award as Best Director. He is the father of many children, a philanthropist, and a millionaire. But at the same time, Mr. Gibson is known for his wild debauchery and many scandals. He was also a favorite actor of the late North Korean leader Kim Jong-il. How Mel Gibson lives and what happened to him. Mel Gerard Gibson was born on January 3, 1956 in suburban New York. He was the 6th child in his Irish Catholic family. The boy was named after Saint Mel and Saint Columcille, who is venerated as one of the 12 disciples in Ireland. His parents, Patricia and Hatton Gibson, were ordinary, deeply religious people. They saw the meaning of life in their children, thus the family turned out to be quite large. They had 11 children in total. It seems that the great future of Mel was genetically determined because his paternal grandmother was an Australian opera star and his grandfather was a millionaire. He owned a successful tobacco business in the American South. The second ingredient in the formula of success was his parents' boundless love and care. They did everything they could to support the children. However, the family couldn't be called well off. The father was a conductor on the New York Central Railroad, where he sustained occupational injury. Having a high IQ and iron will, Hutton sued his former employer and got a substantial compensation of $145,000. Moreover, his sharp mind allowed him to win $21,000 in an international game show, and this money was very useful when the USA was about to enter a large-scale war conflict in Vietnam. The head of the family didn't want to risk the lives of their children, who would be eligible to be drafted for service to fight in a war, and he decided to move his family to Australia. Mel successfully graduated high school and got a parallel religious education, dreaming to become a journalist. But his sister helped him a lot to choose his future vocation. She knew that her brother was very artistic and liked to prank people, so she applied to Sydney National Institute of Dramatic Art on his behalf. Gibson himself was not very eager to go there. The day before the audition, he got very drunk and had a fight, and because of that, he didn't look very well. Fortunately, the commission liked this rough look, and he started his studies, living with his friends in Sydney. Among these friends was future Oscar winner Geoffrey Rush. While still a student, Mel appeared in his first movie, Summer City. This way, he earned only $400. Right after graduation, he started to receive offers for roles in movies, as well as an invitation to join the National Theatre Company. His first steps in this field brought him success. Almost simultaneously, 2 movies hit the theaters: critically acclaimed movie Tim and a cult dystopian movie Mad Max, directed by George Miller.
It'll take you 10 minutes to hack through it with this. Now, if you're lucky, you can hack through your ankle in 5 minutes. Go.
The Grim Road movie brought fame to the aspiring actor, and he earned 15,000 Australian dollars for that role, and eventually, Mad Max turned out to be the most successful Australian movie, grossing over $100 million worldwide. At first, the young actor didn't expect to get the lead role because he showed up to the audition after another fight. His face was swollen because of the bruises and abrasions. That's why he was advised to come back a few weeks later to try to get a role as one of the bandits. After getting himself together, Mel came back to the audition, and they offered him to try out the role of Max. No one realized that this handsome young man was there before, hungover and beaten. Fate gave Mel one gift after another, and this time he got lucky in his personal life. He met a charming dentist's assistant, Robin Moore. The couple met in Adelaide. The actor came there touring with the theater, but there's also an alternative version, according to which they met with the help of a dating agency. Perhaps he had to use the services of the professional matchmakers because as a young man, Gibson suffered from an inferiority complex. He had a lot of fleeting relationships, he fought a lot, he drank a lot, and he got in all kinds of trouble. After another fight, Mel was on the verge of death, and that was the reason for him to turn his life around. In 1980, Mel and Robin got married. The marriage was very solid. It lasted for almost 30 years. They had 7 children, 5 sons, and 2 daughters. Getting a reliable refuge in his wife, Gibson proceeded to conquer the screens. In 1981, he starred in Miller's Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior.
2 days ago, I saw a vehicle that had hauled that tanker. You want to get out of here? You talk to me.
The movie was received well by the audience and praised by the critics. It was mentioned as one of the best movies of that year. Mel earned $120,000 for the shooting. At the same time, he appeared in several successful movies. A war drama Gallipoli about the hardships of the First World War, for which Gibson earned 35,000 Australian dollars, and Attack Force Z, an action film about the Second World War, which brought the actor 1,000 Australian dollars. And a romantic drama film called The Year of Living Dangerously, in which he starred with Sigourney Weaver. In the next couple of years, Gibson rocked Hollywood like a hurricane. He starred in one top-notch film after another. In 1984, an adventure drama, The Bounty, came out. Then the actor starred in the drama film called The River, which he got nominated for several Oscars, and a drama film called Mrs. Soffel. The popularity of the actor brought him a $1 million contract with a Japanese brewery called Asahi. According to the contract, the actor was obligated to regularly appear in public with a beer can. Gibson was thoroughly fulfilling the obligation, drinking around 8 cans of beer a day in a row, and when advised to replace beer with tea or water, he refused. Probably that contract backfired at Gibson because during this time he lost his driver's license for 3 months and got a $400 fine for drunk driving. In 1985, the third Mad Max movie was released. This was the last time Gibson played that role. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was spectacular and action-packed, and Mel got 1.2 million Australian dollars for the role.
1 hour.
If you find him, what then?
I'll ask him to return what's mine.
Oh, and of course he'll be desperate to clear his conscience.
He will be.
You that good?
Mm-hmm.
He finally established his presence on the Hollywood Olympus by playing the lead role in the cult classic action movie Lethal Weapon in 1987.
$100,000. $100,000. Did you hear what he said?
100,000? I'm sorry, I can't afford that. Not on my salary.
The movie brought its creators a bunch of awards, including an Academy Award nomination for Best Sound Mixing. Martin Riggs, masterfully created by Mel, is one of the best cinema characters according to Empire magazine. They filmed an alternative beginning depicting the main character as a less likable person, as well as the ending. They weren't included in the DVD release. The success of the first film prompted the producers to make a sequel, and between the 2 parts of the franchise, Gibson starred in a crime film, Tequila Sunrise. After the end of the filming of Lethal Weapon 2 in 1989, it became clear that it's not commercially reasonable to kill this character, and the original script was rewritten to allow another sequel to be made. There are 4 movies in the franchise in total.
And Riggs, one more thing.
What?
You know what that says?
Yeah. Same thing as that, but I don't give a...
Mel had to refuse the role of Batman to be able to star in the sequel. However, the magnificent performance in the first film gave Gibson the opportunity to fulfill the dream of any actor to play Hamlet in the film adaptation of Shakespeare's tragedy. The scene of Riggs' suicide attempt left director Franco Zeffirelli speechless, and he wanted only Mel to play the lead role. None of the major film companies wanted to fund the adaptation, so Gibson had to create his own company to begin the filming. This is how Icon Production was created. It introduced more than 20 movies. As a logo, Mel Gibson used a fragment of the Virgin of Vladimir icon. This made Mel Gibson very busy in the 90s. He starred in Bird on a Wire, Forever Young, and the action movie Air America. He got paid $7 million for the latter. In 1992, the fans saw the next movie about Martin Riggs. The third Lethal Weapon was a massive box office success and made Gibson richer by $10 million. Then, the American Western comedy Maverick thundered at the box offices, and Mel received even more money for it, $15 million.
I might have said a gut was cheap, but never a coward.
Cheap!
Never call a man a coward. I was teasing. Teasing!
Oh. I don't like being teased.
Besides, the ambitious Australian man tried his hand at directing. He filmed his first movie and played the lead role in it, The Man Without a Face. Despite the hopes, was not successful, which can't be said about Gibson's next movie. The epic historical war drama about Scotland's struggle for freedom, Braveheart, blew up the screen.
You tell your king that William Wallace will not be ruled, and nor will any Scot while I live.
The proof of the appreciation were 10 Oscar nominations. The movie won 5 of them, including one to Mel Gibson himself for Best Director. He also won a Golden Globe for Best Director. The story of the film creation is full of fun facts. For example, Mel's character is only 20 years old according to the script, and the actor himself was 38 at the time of the filming. Initially, the movie was supposed to be much more gruesome, but they cut out controversial scenes from the film to lower the age rating. The animal rights activists had some issues with the movie because they didn't believe that no horses was harmed during the filming. Gibson managed to get out of the scandal. He proved that some horses were mechanical. In 2000, in a special auction, the sword that was used by Gibson during the filming was sold for $170,000. In 1995, Mel tried his hand at animation. He took part in voice acting in 2 projects, Casper and Pocahontas. Right after that, Gibson starred in 2 thriller movies for which he got $20 million, Ransom and Conspiracy Theory. In 1998, Lethal Weapon 4 was released. Mel broke his personal record again and got $25 million for the role. Moreover, he signed a profitable advertising contract with a Japanese company, Subaru, and appears in the commercial driving a right-hand drive Legacy sedan through Stockholm and New York. By the way, Mel himself chose another Japanese car. He's driving a modest sedan Toyota Cressida. At the turn of the century, the fans saw Mel in another action movie called Payback and in The $1 Million Hotel. He also voiced a character in Chicken Run. The historical drama, The Patriot, was praised by the audience, for which Gibson got $25 million.
I understood you to be a patriot.
If you mean by patriot, am I angry about taxation without representation? Well, yes, I am.
It's peculiar that Mel asked to make several changes to the script. They added another child to the 6 children the character had because at that moment, Mel himself had 7 children. The movie, What Women Want, holds a special place in Mel's career.
Do you ever consider dating a woman who wears real underwear? You know, the kind that covers the entire bottom the way it's supposed to.
No, but if I ever do, should I give you a call?
A hoax and prank enthusiast, he brilliantly played the role of a charming ladies' man who gained the ability to hear women's thoughts after being electrocuted. The comedy film was a smashing hit, getting over $374 million in the worldwide box office. It was ranked 4th among the most successful movies of 2000. At the same time, Mel got into a huge-scale pharmaceutical war waged by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. It was trying to restrict the consumption of vitamins by the Americans. As a protest, Gibson appeared in a video in which his home is raided by a SWAT team. The actor, wearing a bathrobe and holding a vitamin C container, says to the SWAT team, "It's just vitamins." Since the early aughts, Gibson has not been that active as an actor. He appeared in such films as Signs and We Were Soldiers, which brought him $50 million in total, a musical crime comedy, The Singing Detective, and the TV series Complete Savages. Mel spent more and more energy and resources on his own projects, mostly as a director. His 2004 epic biblical drama film, The Passion of the Christ, was a really huge event. The movie shocked the public, depicting the last 12 hours of the life of Jesus Christ. The dialogues in this movie were written in reconstructed Aramaic, ancient Hebrew, and Latin. Gibson, after the release of the movie, proclaimed that the Holy Spirit was the real creator of the film and he was just a vehicle. He even donated $100 million to the Catholic Church. The filming process was very difficult. The lead actor was constantly injured, including a lightning strike. To make it more authentic, they decided to avoid using CGI. The job was done exclusively by makeup artists who spent 10 hours on it. Moreover, the actor who played Jesus received real lashes and carried a real wooden cross weighing 154 pounds. Thanks to this selfless and rigorous approach, the movie turned out to be grand. The whole society was shocked, including Pope John Paul II, who praised the movie, and Gibson's daughter Hannah was so impressed that she even expressed a desire to take the veil and become a nun. The phenomenal box office receipts of the movie was no surprise. It earned $609 million worldwide. Because of that, it is still in the top 10 of the highest grossing R-rated movies. After the filming, Mel decided to buy the lush green Mago Island in Fiji archipelago measuring 8 square miles for $15 million. He said he plans on preserving the island's original condition for recreation, and he remains true to his words. The satellite images show only dirt airstrip, Mel Gibson's mansion in the northern part of the island, and houses of locals who are paid by the actor. The next large-scale project of the Icon Company was the mystical movie Apocalypto, based on the historical myths and legends of the Maya tribe. Gibson was the producer, the director, and the screenwriter of the movie. Same as in the previous movie, Mel tried to make it as authentic as possible and didn't trust CGI to do the job. It was filmed mostly in the Mexican state of Veracruz, and they reconstructed step pyramids very close to the original. In the movie, Mayans are depicted as very cruel people, which was criticized by many historians, and representatives of one of the ethnic communities filed a report to the Human Rights Commission of the Yucatan state. At the same time, there was a huge scandal when Mel was arrested for drunk driving again. This time, the movie star acted really inappropriately, shouting anti-Semitic slogans and racial slurs. This stunt almost ruined Gibson's reputation, but he got away with it. He publicly apologized, speaking about lapses in judgment he's having from time to time. After this incident, Gibson retreated into the shadows for 10 years and didn't film any movies. Craving for solitude, in 2007, Mel bought a mansion with a plot of land of 400 acres on the Costa Rica coast. He's been thinking about buying a piece of this picturesque land when he was searching for a location for the Apocalypto shooting. He bought it for $26 million. This ranch consists of a villa surrounded by tropical forest and a cute backyard. The home features several classic colonial-style bedrooms, wood-dominated dining rooms, and an on-site pool. Later, Mel tried to sell the house for $35 million. After all, Mel Gibson is not just a great actor, but a good businessman as well. He knows how to sell. In 2007, he sold another mansion in the Tudor style in Connecticut for $40 million, which he bought in 1994 for $9 million. This 15-bedroom castle-like mansion is surrounded by a stunningly beautiful garden, and the interiors of the living room with fireplace, library, and dining room are strikingly rich and charmingly old-fashioned. This break from the film industry and property purchase can be explained by the problems in his personal life. In the spring of 2009, there were rumors that Mel's solid family split up. Allegedly, the spouses had not been living together for 3 years. Soon, Gibson showed up to the premiere of X-Men Origins Wolverine with a Russian pianist and singer Oksana Grigorieva. She met Gibson during the filming of one of the movies, and pretty soon, the smitten actor became the producer of her album. There is a theory that the meeting was not an accident, but was organized by a known in certain circles matchmaker, Peter Listerman. However, this information is not confirmed at all. After the joint appearance in the news about Oksana being 4 months pregnant, Robin filed for divorce and got half of the net worth of the adulterer, $850 million. Besides that, Mel has to pay half of his income to his ex-wife, and later she got 2 Malibu mansions worth a total of $22.5 million. Actually, the breakup fee of the Gibsons is considered to be one of the largest in the history of Hollywood. In October 2009, Mel and Oksana had a daughter, who became the 8th child of the actor. The new family with newborn Lucienne lived in a $11.5 million mansion situated in Malibu. Mel bought the house from his friend, David Duchovny, but the family life didn't work out, and after 18 months, the couple split up, and a few months later, Grigorieva filed a police report stating that she was physically abused by Gibson. They have opened a criminal case against Mel, and he received 3 years suspended sentence, a $400 fine, and a restraining order prohibiting him from seeing their mutual daughter. Also, the court ordered him to pay his common-law spouse a $750,000 compensation and pay $40,000 each month until the child reaches the age of 18. Also, Oksana got a mansion in Sherman Oaks, which Gibson bought in 2009 for $2.4 million. The court ordered Mel to pay maintenance costs as well, but the woman wanted more, so she posted on social media a recorded phone call between her and Mel, during which he used racial slurs. This almost cost the actor his career and reputation. Many people turned against him, but not Jodie Foster, Robert Downey Jr., Robert Rodriguez, and Sylvester Stallone. They helped out the actor. Thanks to Rodriguez and Stallone, he managed to appear in such movies as Machete Kills, where he played a villain for the first time, and The Expendables 3.
He thinks I'm joking. I'm not joking. You should see me when I'm angry. You'd be very impressed. Then very dead.
As a result of the loud scandal, the filming of the action movie Get the Gringo was delayed, and the premiere of the eccentric drama The Beaver was cancelled. It was planned to premiere in December 2010, considering the Oscar nominations, but it was released only in May 2011. The premiere was a flop. The movie failed at the box office. To top it all off, in 2010, the actor got into a car accident. He crashed his Maserati car against a rock cliff on one of the Malibu roads. Fortunately, Gibson was not harmed, which can't be said about the car. It had to be towed. It was completely totaled. After this point, the actor decided to drive a convenient electric smart car. He's been driving it for many years already. Mel tried to forget about the previous relationship, and in 2012, it was reported that he's dating athlete Ashley Cusato, but it didn't last very long. The next period of Mel's life can be considered a reset. He was completely inactive both in professional and personal life. Only in 2016, Gibson renewed his activity. He appeared in the action film Bloodfather and then directed Hacksaw Ridge, which brought him an Oscar nomination as Best Actor. Also, it was reported that his new girlfriend, Rosalind Ross, is pregnant with the actor's 9th child. On January 20, 2017, the couple had a baby. They named him Lars Gerard. Thus, Mel has the second place in the top of actors with the largest number of kids. Only Charlie Chaplin had more kids than Mel. He had 11. But something tells us that Gibson may beat this record. In the last couple of years, Gibson appeared as an actor in such movies as Dragged Across Concrete, Boss Level, Force of Nature, Dangerous, and Daddy's Home 2.
Why does a duck have feathers?
Why?
To cover up his butt quack.
Hey, kids, I got a good one for you. 2 dead hookers wash up on the shore.
Hey, whoa, shut up.
The most peculiar film he starred in recently is probably The Professor and the Madman, 2018. This movie was in production for 17 years. The filming process was full of scandals and lawsuits, so the production company Voltage Pictures banned the crew from filming in Oxford, England. The reason given was budget overruns and lack of time, and as a result, the filming was moved to Ireland. Enraged, Gibson couldn't let the company cripple his film this way, and he tried to ban the release of the film through the court, but he failed. In revenge, he decided not to participate in the advertising campaign. In 2020, there was a premiere of a comedy action film, Batman, with Mel Gibson in the lead role.
Remember when my bacon went through the vegan sugar-free phase?
Yeah. I was lucky to survive it. Must have lost 12 pounds.
In 2021, Gibson appeared in the action films Agent Game, Dangerous, and Last Looks. And the following year, audiences could see the actor in Father Stu, On the Line, Hot Seat, Panama, and Bandit. After all the lawsuits and alimony, Mel Gibson's net worth is now $425 million. Despite the fact that according to some open source estimates, Mel received a record sum of $450 million for The Passion of the Christ and invested only $30 million of his personal money. According to the most recent accounts, Mel is not sitting idle. Gibson is gonna be the director of Lethal Weapon 5. Besides, he will play the lead role in the Continental miniseries, which is about to be released. The most intriguing is the rumor that the actor is working on the sequel of his epic film about the life and death of Jesus Christ called The Passion of the Christ Resurrection, where Gibson will act as director, screenwriter, and producer. We tried our best to tell you all about the life of this brilliant actor, talented director, and unique person, Mel Gibson. Do you think he'll manage to surprise the world with a new masterpiece as he did with Braveheart and The Passion of the Christ? Richard Gere, how the ladies' man lives and where he spends his millions. Richard Tiffany Gere was born on August 31st, 1949 in a large American family of housewife Doris Ann and insurance agent Homer George Gere. Besides Richard, who was born the second, the Geres raised 5 children. The parents were educated but simple people and managed to give their children a happy childhood in the suburbs of New York. They tried to provide a balanced upbringing. There was room to communicate with nature because the family lived in a small rural town for creativity and sports. The future actor studied guitar with might and main, shown in the school drama club, and did gymnastics. After receiving a sports scholarship after graduation, he went to the University of Massachusetts to study philosophy and directing. At the same time, Gere dreamed of becoming a professional musician and saw himself as a world-famous trumpeter. These crazy dreams eventually prevented him from getting a degree. At first, he chased an opportunity to become a musician and then became interested in theater and dropped out of school. Finally settling in New York, Richard tried his hand at theatrical auditions, and one day he was lucky. In 1975, after a series of minor characters, he got the main role in the play The Killer's Head. On stage, he was blindfolded all the time, playing a murderer sentenced to death, which played into the hands of the young actor. At the time, he was extremely reserved and often got nervous, which hindered his skill. In this case, however, the audience heard only his voice, which literally mesmerized the crowd. The young actor was so talented that he was noticed by film producers. First, Gere appeared in such films as Report to the Commissioner, Looking for Mr. Goodbar, Days of Heaven, Blood Brothers, and Yanks. And then he got really lucky. The Hollywood handsome John Travolta refused the main role in the movie American Gigolo, and the job went to Gere with a fee of $35,000. Thanks to the role, he instantly gained a whole army of female fans. Not the least role in this was played by the fact that the actor had to act in some scenes completely naked. The image of the heartbreaker and the role of the lover boy was stuck to him, which over time began to weigh on him. 2 years later, Richard was offered the lead role, and again, ironically, the one that Travolta refused. The film, An Officer and a Gentleman, was a great success and won 2 Emmy Academy Awards and was also recognized as one of the greatest romantic movies in history, according to the American Film Institute.
Should have warned you scuzzy female types so about the putrid dudes. Those are the ones that say they're wearing a rubber, but there's really a little hole bitten in the bottom of it.
Then, Richard's filmography was replenished with the movies The Honorary Consul and Breathless. And in 1984, he starred in the gangster movie The Cotton Club, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, in which the actor performed several parts on the trumpet, reliving his youth.
What is this, a kidnapping?
Would you like that? Because I think I'm up to it. You do move me. I don't know why, but you do move me. In unusual places.
Surprisingly, with a brilliant cast, a venerable director, and a whole galaxy of prestigious awards, the film failed at the box office. This did not prevent Richard from getting $2 million for the role. Next came the historical film King David, the drama Power, the action movie Miles from Home, the thrillers No Mercy with a fee of $1.5 million, and Internal Affairs. The real fame came to Gere when he approached the 40-year milestone. Richard didn't want to play at all in Pretty Woman, which was originally conceived as a drama. He didn't like the script, which was changed beyond recognition. He was tired of the roles that parasitized his heartthrob image, but his agent persuaded him to go to a meeting with the actress chosen for the main role, and Julia Roberts convinced him to agree. Experts still have trouble explaining the magic ingredient that made this trivial story a huge hit.
Did you really say $100 an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have any prior engagements, I'd be very pleased if you would accompany me into the hotel.
With $14 million invested in production, worldwide box office was $463 million. Perhaps the reason is the chemistry that arose on the set between the performers of the main roles, because, for the sake of a happy ending, the screenwriters had to rewrite the finale of the picture. Initially, Edward did not even consider climbing the stairs to Vivian like a prince from her sweet dreams. In the original story, the rich man pushed the girl out of the car, throwing money at her. That's how the movie was supposed to end. Gere himself dislikes Pretty Woman for many reasons and emphasizes this in interviews. So he was very pleased with the offer of the master of Japanese cinematography, Akira Kurosawa, who gave him a small role in his anti-war film Rhapsody in August. On the set, Richard had to speak Japanese, which he did not know. He had to memorize the lines by heart. The director was very worried that he would not be able to pay the Hollywood star for the work, but Gere assured him that he would play for free. As a result, the director paid him a symbolic amount and also paid for flight tickets for Gere and even offered to buy tickets for his friends if they wanted to visit Japan. Such a friend was Cindy Crawford, who had been his wife for a year. One of the most beautiful couples of that time was formed back in 1988, and in 1991, the official wedding took place in Las Vegas. The ceremony was very modest. It was attended by only 4 witnesses, and the rings exchanged by the newlyweds were made out of chewing candy wrappers. Many consider the wedding in Las Vegas a bad sign, and perhaps there is some truth in that since the couple divorced in 1995. Gere and Crawford chose not to make a tragedy or a performance out of this event. It went quickly and quietly, after which everyone went their own way. Gere's path at that time led him to Tibet. He met the Dalai Lama and almost became a monk, but the actor had so much life energy that he didn't fit into the novice's secluded routine. Since then, he sympathized with Tibet with all his heart. Richard spoke passionately about the plight of the region wherever he could. At one of his political gatherings, he went completely wild, promising to fight the Chinese alone if Tibet wouldn't get protection. The speech caused a murmur in the room, and only one woman found the courage to turn the situation into a joke. She turned out to be American actress Carrie Lowell, the famous Bond girl from the movie License to Kill. Very soon, Lowell became Mr. Gere's second wife. In 2000, the couple had a son, whom they named Homer after his grandfathers. Meanwhile, Richard Gere's film career was on the rise. He managed to appear in such films as Final Analysis, in which he also acted as a producer and the band played on, Mr. Jones, First Night, Red Corner, and Primal Fear. For shooting in the detective movie Summersby and the drama Intersection, the actor received $5 and $7 million, respectively. And in the action movie The Jackal, he co-starred with Bruce Willis. However, the guys didn't get along very well, and they swore never to act together again.
Give over, Preston. Who are you really looking for?
A pro. Calls himself The Jackal.
Oh, that fella. The mystery man.
By the way, Gere could have played the main role in the movie Die Hard, which he refused for some reason. Meanwhile, the creators of Pretty Woman decided to make money by resurrecting the duet of Richard Gere and Julia Roberts in the romantic movie Runaway Bride. The film was a success. It earned $300 million at the box office and brought Gere a fee of $13 million. Immediately after this movie, the actor flashed his dramatic talent in the role of a rich man who finds himself powerless in the face of his lover's illness and death. We are talking about the film Autumn in New York, where he co-starred with Winona Ryder.
You've got the hiccups.
Are you kidding? I would go with you in a heartbeat. You're fabulous.
Yeah?
But, uh-oh. Oh, dear.
It must be me.
Then the depressive mystical thriller The Mothman Prophecies and the drama Unfaithful were released, which together brought $30 million to the actor's bank account. Another work of Gere in the early thousands was the melodrama Dr. T and the Woman about a gynecologist. To better prepare for the role, Richard took the opportunity when his wife gave birth to their son. He studied the work of the maternity ward. In 2002, the name of Richard Gere again rumbled around the world, and the occasion was the release of the musical film Chicago.
I could be an awfully good sport.
Good, you got that out of your system. Now listen, you mean just one thing to me. You call me when you got $5,000.
The luxurious crime musical masterpiece astounded not only the audience but also the critics, who nominated it for 13 Oscars. BAFTA, Golden Globe, and Grammy Awards could not ignore the movie either. They literally showered the creators and actors of the film with awards. Gere won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical. And by the way, the role of the creative lawyer could have gone to actor Hugh Jackman, who refused it, which he later regretted very much. Interestingly enough, the first film adaptation of Chicago was supposed to be made back in the 70s with Frank Sinatra, Liza Minnelli, and Goldie Hawn in the lead roles. In 2004, a remake of the Japanese romantic comedy Shall We Dance was released, where the actor rocked the dance floor with Jennifer Lopez and Susan Sarandon, with whom he was in a romantic relationship in the early 80s.
Beverly, dance with me?
I don't know how.
Yeah, you do.
No,
Yeah, you've been dancing with me for 19 years.
The actor devoted the following years to the films that did not receive much praise: Bee Season, The Hoax, The Flock, I'm Not There, The Hunting Party, and Nights in Rodanthe. The next takeoff happened only in 2009 when the actor starred in the incredibly touching, kind, and sad film Hachi, A Dog's Tale.
All right, come here. Okay, it's all right. Let's see your private car, all right? Go. Stay. Go home. Go on.
While sentimental viewers around the world were crying their eyes out, its worldwide box office totaled more than $50 million. After the biographical movie Amelia, the crime thrillers Brooklyn's Finest and The Double, as well as a documentary about one of the teachers of Buddhism, Brilliant Moon, the film Arbitrage was released, in which Gere again co-starred with Susan Sarandon.
Her teacher was Mr. James. Mr. James said, world events all revolve around 5 things. M-O-N-E-Y.
Was this freshman econ?
That was a 5th grade econ.
Richard Gere was nominated for a Golden Globe for his performance. In 2013, the marriage of Gere and Carrie Lowell broke up when the woman found out about her husband's affair with a TV presenter of Indian origin. The separation this time was a difficult ordeal for Richard. His wife attacked him with accusations and draconian financial claims. But soon, the man met a new love. By that time, the actor had 2 unsuccessful marriages and a whole series of relationships of varying degree of seriousness. Uma Thurman, Kim Basinger, Priscilla Presley, Barbara Streisand, Diana Ross, and a dozen other Hollywood beauties dated him in different years. But it seems that now Gere has stopped in his search. At one of the film festivals, he met Alejandra Siva, a journalist and the daughter of a former manager of the Real Madrid football club. The 34-year age difference did not bother the mature silver fox at all. That's how he was nicknamed in Hollywood for his refusal to dye his gorgeous gray hair. And after 3 years of relationships, he led his beloved one down the aisle. A modest celebration took place in April 2018 in New York and gathered only a circle of the couple's closest friends. A year later, they had a son together, Alexander, and in 2020, another heir was born, whose name was not disclosed. Now, the actor can afford to stop thinking about money and choose roles exclusively to his liking. Recently, his filmography more and more often includes roles in the auteur and low-budget movies. Among them are the film anthology Movie 43, the dramas Time Out of Mind, The Benefactor, Norman, The Moderate Rise, and Tragic Fall of a New York Fixer, and Three Christs, the melodrama The Second Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, the thriller The Dinner, and the miniseries Mother, Father, Son. In January 2023, a comedy starring the actor, Maybe I Do, was released. Richard Gere's fortune is estimated at $120 million, which makes him one of the richest actors in the industry. He had advertising contracts with the Italian car brand Lancia, the Visa payment system, the brand of carbonated drinks Orangina, and others. He invested money in a small luxury hotel, Bedford Post Inn, which is located in the suburbs of New York. Guests can meditate, do yoga, and enjoy delicious dishes made from organic produce from the hotel's own farm. Gere himself and his family live in a spacious mansion located just an hour's drive from Manhattan, which he spent $10 million to renovate in 2020. The total area of the residential parts is more than 8,600 square feet, which consists of 7 comfortable bedrooms, living rooms, and a wine cellar. The couple also chose to buy a vacant plot with a swimming pool in the yard next door to expand their land to 34 acres. Experts estimate this transaction at $700,000. Until 2020, Richard owned another residence in Pound Ridge for almost 35 years. He bought it for $1.5 million and managed to sell it for $24 million. Charming, spacious colonial-style villa with an area of more than 10,000 square feet is complemented by a swimming pool and access to a pond. This deal was not the only one that Gere managed to profit from. He bought a luxury home in Southampton for only $6.5 million in 2006 and sold it for $36 million. Richard Gere also has urban real estate. Since 2016, he has owned an apartment in New York in the Gramercy Park area, worth a little more than $2 million. The property consists of 2 bedrooms and a living room, which the actor renovated and furnished according to his taste. It is reported that his friend, actor, and TV presenter Jimmy Fallon persuaded him to make this purchase. Until 2011, Gere had another apartment which he owned for more than 20 years and sold for $2.6 million. Now, the spacious and bright apartments can be rented by anyone for $20,000 a month. Richard Gere is a committed Buddhist and a life lover. He desperately fights against injustice and stands for the restoration of peace. In addition to fighting for the freedom of Tibet, because of which he was banned from entering China for life, he is engaged in environmental, health, and human rights issues, supporting many humanitarian international campaigns. He is also outraged by current events, even auctioned off one of his cars to donate the proceeds to charity funds to help victims of the war in Ukraine. A 1999 Jaguar XK8 collector's convertible was sold for $31,000. This gorgeous car has a 5-speed automatic transmission and an engine capacity of 4 liters. At the time of sale, the mileage was 31,000. In everyday life, the actor was seen driving an Audi RS6. By his age, Richard Gere has received everything one could dream of: 3 sons, a beloved and loving wife, fame, and wealth. It seems that the saying, "a good deed is never lost," finds direct confirmation in his life path. His motto is, stop treating yourself like an afterthought. Eat delicious food, walk in the sunshine, jump in the ocean, say the truth like you're carrying in your heart like hidden treasure. Be silly, be kind, be weird. There's no time for anything else. Do you agree with Silver Fox's statement?
Thank you.
If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.